much attention to the man who lived at the end of the street. His house stood slightly apart from the others, older and quieter, its paint worn by time and its windows often dimly lit. It wasn't abandoned, just forgotten, just like him. His name was Adrian Vale, tall, well-built, strikingly handsome in a quiet, almost unnoticeable way. The kind of man people would glance at once, then forget moments later. He worked odd jobs around town, fixing fences, repairing roofs, helping carry heavy furniture for neighbors. Nothing special, nothing memorable, just ordinary. At least that's what everyone believed. But every night, Adrian became someone else. Long before the town became peaceful, it was known for something darker. People whispered about it, a place where trouble settled, where strangers came and stayed. There were nights filled with shouting, sirens, and uneasy silence that followed. People locked their doors early. Children were told not to wander far. Adrian remembered all of it, because he grew up there. He knew every street, every corner, every shadow, and more importantly, he knew the people. He knew who smiled kindly in the morning, and who walked differently at night. He knew which neighbors helped others, and which ones quietly brought harm. At first he ignored it. He told himself it wasn't his responsibility. But that changed. It started with Mrs. Alira, a kind old woman who had lived there longer than anyone could remember. She used to leave her lights on at night, not out of fear, but because she liked the warmth it brought to the street. One morning her house was silent, her door left slightly open. Nothing was stolen, but something was wrong. Adrian never forgot the feeling that settled in his chest that day. Not anger, not fear. Something quieter, something colder, a decision. That was the night Adrian began watching. From the roof of his old house, he could see nearly the entire street. The flicker of streetlights, the movement of shadows, the patterns people didn't realize they had. And slowly he began to understand everything. He didn't act recklessly, he didn't rush. He observed, carefully, patiently, learning routines, recognizing behaviors, noticing what others missed. When something didn't belong, he noticed, and when the time came, he acted, quietly, strategically, without recognition. Some people simply disappeared from the neighborhood. Others found themselves facing consequences they never expected. Authorities began noticing unusual patterns. Troublemakers were being reported more frequently. Evidence appeared where there had been none before. People who once caused fear suddenly stopped. No one knew why, no one knew how. But the neighborhood slowly began to change. Lights stayed on longer at night. Children played outside again. Doors were no longer locked as tightly. And for the first time in years, the street felt safe. Still, no one ever suspected Adrian, because during the day he was still just the quiet man fixing fences, until the night someone started watching him. It began subtly, a figure standing too long at the corner, a shadow that didn't belong, a presence that didn't move like the others. Adrian noticed immediately, because unlike everyone else, he always noticed. For the first time in years, someone was observing him. The man was new. Adrian was certain of that. He didn't recognize his walk, didn't recognize his habits, and in this neighborhood that meant something. For 3 nights, Adrian watched him. The man never approached anyone, never spoke, just stood, watching, learning. On the 4th night, Adrian moved. The streets were quiet, too quiet, as if the air itself was waiting. Adrian stepped into the darkness, his movements calm and controlled. He didn't rush, didn't make noise. He simply appeared. The man noticed him. A brief moment of surprise crossed his face, then calm, too calm. "You've been watching," Adrian said quietly. The man tilted his head slightly. "So have you." Adrian's eyes narrowed. "You don't belong here." The man smiled faintly. "Neither do you." For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then the man spoke again. "I've heard stories about this place," he said. "How it changed, how it became peaceful. peaceful. Adrian said nothing. And I wondered, the man continued, who made that happen? The silence between them grew heavier. You're not the only one who watches, Adrian. The use of his name sent a quiet warning through him. You've done good, the man added, but you've also made yourself visible. Adrian took a slow breath. Who are you? The man stepped slightly closer into the dim light. Not threatening, not afraid, just certain. Someone who does the same thing you do. Adrian studied him carefully. There was no arrogance, no malice, just intention. Different places, the man said. Same purpose. Adrian didn't lower his guard. Then why are you here? The man glanced down the street, at the quiet houses, the soft glow of lights, the calm that had taken years to build. Because something is coming, he said. That was the first time Adrian felt it. Not fear, but something close. What kind of something? Adrian asked. The man met his gaze. The kind that doesn't scare easily. The wind shifted, and for a moment the peaceful street didn't feel so peaceful anymore. The man turned slightly, stepping back into the shadows. You've done well here, he said, but this time, you might not be enough alone. Adrian watched him carefully. Then stay, he said. The man paused, then gave a small, knowing smile. We'll see. And just like that, he was gone. Adrian stood there for a long time, listening, watching, thinking. For years he had protected the neighborhood alone, silent, unseen, unnoticed. But now someone knew, and something was coming. That night, Adrian returned to his rooftop. The street looked the same. Peaceful, still, safe. But he knew better. Because sometimes the most dangerous things don't announce themselves. They wait, just beyond the light. And for the first time in years, Adrian wasn't just watching. He was waiting.